Fall is in the air. Well, it was for a minute. Now we're back to 90-degree temperatures. But I'm still going to finish this out with fall. Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. And it's SACS Saturday. That means we are playing with product that I got from Spectrum Art Creations. Now, I have thousands of dollars worth of stuff from Spectrum Art Creations. And I'm okay with that. Because Spectrum Art Creations team have introduced me to products I would not normally have found. One of them, which is what we're going to work with for the next 2 Saturdays, is from Ciao. Excuse me, needed coffee. It's called their Sounds of Autumn. Now, I have Sounds of Winter, and I just found spring and summer collections online that I'm going to pick up this week because I want to have all of them. So for this particular collection, we are going to work with a tag ring. And this is an example of what you'll find in that collection, and there are still some of these out there. Just search Ciao Sounds of Autumn, and you may come up with 1 or 2. So I'm going to set this aside and show you what we're going to be doing. Now there are, for starters, I have some pieces here from the paper that are circles. Now, these are slightly larger than 2 3/8. 2 3/8 punch is the largest punch that I have. I do have this in dies, but just to make it simpler, and I wasn't really concerned about all the more I'm going to lose on here, I decided to just use a punch. Okay, and now we have that. I have not decided if I am using the little brad dots yet or not. I'm not sure. So I'm setting those off to the side in stuff I may use. I've gone through this morning and cut everything out. So I have, these are bits and pieces that I may come back and use. Yeah, this one I needed to show. And then I have all the words and phrases. Then I have trim pieces that we can use. And then I have pieces I think I want to use, but I'm not positive. So I set them aside in little tubs. And we're going to be using the cardstock, the vanilla cardstock from Paper Studio. This is their heavyweight, so it's going to be perfect for tags. Now I have 2 of these cut out. And what I wanted to do was kind of try to center this one, but I think I want to leave this. Let's save this for when I decide how I want to do that. But I'm thinking of using these kind of like as if they were doilies and bringing them in from the side of the card. 3, 4, 5, 7. I got 3, 4, 5 of those, and I need to come up with a 5th one or a 6th one because I have everything broke down in the sizes of 3. Go figure. Bet you didn't see that coming, huh? So we're going to use the heavyweight cardstock from Paper Studio to create tags. Now I'm going to turn this way so we can use this kind of as a background. Because I have these 3 that were tickets or smaller tabs. So I've got those. I have these. This one was on a much larger tag, and I cut it to match these 2 because these 3 are going to be used for tags with a job, as Dear Julie calls them, and we'll explain that when we get there. Then I have these 3, and I think these are the largest 3 that I have, so these are going to be the size that I work with for making the tag. So this is going to be a really big tag book, so we'll come back to those in a minute. Because see, they're not the same size, so we need to make them the same size, so we will do that. And then we have, there are 2 sets here. One are these tags, and there was only 2 of these in the collection. So I thought I would use this one to make another tag there. So I'm going to go ahead and snip that off. And I want to make sure that it's centered, because I want these 3 to match. Now this would go in the trim basket in case we need it. And this one, now I could have drawn around this, but this is just as easy. So those are trim pieces. And I'll get my fussy cut scissors because they work so much better for this. Like that. And like that. So we have those three together. I'm going to clip those. And where's my trim basket so I can put those in out of the way. Then I have, oh yes, and I have these. And I have a basket in here. Oh, they're in with the words, I think. Yeah, they're in with the words. I've been saving these. We may use those for borders. So I've been saving those. Bob's like, why are you saving everything out in separate piles? I says, because everyone has its own job, right? So we had these two, but there wasn't a third one this size. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to position it over that one that has the words. And we're going to save that one and make that word one a tag. I have got an excruciating sinus headache this morning. And then I'm going to take and trim this one off so they'll match. Yeah, I can take and trim that off. And we'll be good. And because this was the size we started with, it's not that much off. So I'm going to take and trim that just like that. So we have those three. And I'm going to take and see if I can collect those and get those in the trash out of the way. Then we have these. Now these are another one. This came out as a set. So those will all be tags. But this one is the same size as these. And that's why I decided I wanted to go with this size for a tag. So we're going to go with these three. And I have these out in bundles. Kind of set apart. And look at that little fox. Isn't he adorable? Wait till you see one with the hedgehog. So there's this one. And I'm going to go ahead and snip this one off. This one I think is going to dangle by itself. I've not decided. Okay. I'm going to tuck him under there. So there's one stack of those. And I have the same thing. I have September, October, and then November. And there are that many tags in there. Then I have this one. And they kind of run like this. So I think those are going to be another three on. I thought about doing this and pumping these out, but I think I'm going to leave them the way they are. And these will become tags with a job, but we'll cut them down relatively to the same size. And then we have these three. And those dogs. And I want to take them down to this size, I think. So we'll do that. Let's start with the big dog here. And I'm just going to come up there. And the reason I'm trying to make all the components roughly the same size in their category is because when I go to put them on the tag, it will be so much easier. So we have that one. And this one, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to tuck him into the corner here and try and keep as much of that border as I can. And I'm keeping an eye on my time. I have some other things to do with Bob. Now for the coming weeks, it's going to get crazy around here. I will finish off the fall stuff coming up next week. And then I'm going to take the entire last week of September off, because I'm going to be traveling. And so all of next week, aside from giving you the videos that you need for Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday for next week, maybe Friday, for next week, I need to spend all next week writing the blog posts and filming the videos for at least the first 3 weeks of October, because I won't get home until the 1st of October for my trip to Kansas to Big Mama's. And then I have Writers' Conference the following weekend. And I'm going to need that next week just to spend a little bit of time with Bob, because he will have been without me for most of 2 weeks. So that's where we're at with that. Now there were 3 of these tags. And I think what I want to do, let me test this. I don't think I want this size. Well, maybe I do. No, I don't want that size. Let's take this one. I think we may leave those as an arch on the base. We will see. We'll play with these three. But they were the odd ducks in the batch. Okay. So I do know that these being the tallest, and I need my Post-it because if I don't write it down, I will be lost, and an ink pen to write it down so I don't get lost. I need to know how big to make my tags. So I'm going to start, these three are pretty much the same size, and I will make sure they are the same size just by trimming them down. But I want to get a general idea, and I think this dog is probably the best one to work with. So my tags need to be, I think I'm going to do 4 1/4. That'll give me an 1/8 inch border all the way around. So 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. Now the neat thing about that is, and if I could get away with it, and we may try, let me set these over here behind me. Bring up my paper trimmer. Now the neat thing about the 4 1/4 is I can take this 8.5 by 11 sheet and I can whip it down in half, which means I'm going to get at least 2 on here. Now this is 11. So if I did these by 5 1/2, let's test one at 5 1/2. That means I could potentially get 4 tags from a sheet. See, that doesn't give me my top edge to make my tag. So they are going to have to be 5 3/4, maybe even 5. What's 5 3/4? Let's do them by 6 and see if we like that fitting better. I think we're going to. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So this is going to be a pretty big tag book, no less. So I'm going to trim this one off even. And see, that makes these 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Now if we do those like that and we scoot them down to where we have just an edge, let's see what that's going to do for a top punch here. Let's stick him on here first so we know where we're going. I want that way down at the bottom. And if we do the 1 1/4, or if we do that one, I think I want to do this one. So let me get my fancy scissors, my fussy scissors back here, and we'll cut that one off. And then we're going to go, now we know that's what we're doing, we're going to go right over here and do this one. Did I cut that one off? Making sure I didn't turn it when I shouldn't have. There we go. This tag template that I'm using, the corner template, is from Spectrum Art Creations as well. I love this thing. I was never any good at clipping a corner off and flipping it over, and it was just a pain in the patootie. But I have both sizes that Spectrum Art carries. They come pre-drilled so you can hang them up and not lose them somewhere. And then they're all marked all the way around for where you need to go. So I love these things, and I will link them in the description box below. Okay, so we know we're doing 6 by 4 1/4. We know we're doing 6 by 4 1/4. Now that is going to leave us some cutoff that we're not going to use, but that's okay. You know what? Let's try something else. Let's try something else. We know we need this to be 6. So let's try cutting this one off at 6 and see what a difference it makes. Because right now we're only getting 1 tag or 2 tags per sheet. But if we go this way, can we get more? No, we're still going to have 2 tags per sheet, which means I need approximately 15 of these cut. And I'm not going to walk you through all of them today. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That gives me plenty to play with. Now, I realize that when we get to those smaller tags, we have a lot, and I do mean a lot, of open space on these tags. I get that. So get that. But that's okay. Let me go ahead and cut another one of those so I can paper clip those together, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. And it doesn't really matter. I think I'm just going to go this way, and I'll have squares to work with. By 6. I think I like that better, having a whole bunch of squares that I can do something with. Use them as mats and albums, maybe. Will be the best bet for those. Okay, let me move this to the side and show you what I'm talking about. This fills up the entire space without a problem. And I had one of these trimmed out, and I don't know where it went. It vanished on me. But I also know that I am using, I need to change this 4 1/4 by 6. And where did that doggy go? I had him. Two, 3. Okay, how much is that doggy in the window? Where did he go? Okay, I'm going to do this one. And see, that's pretty big, but that's okay if we lose part of this, because what I'm going to do is we were using the 1-inch clip off, weren't we? No, we were not using the 1-inch. We were using this one. So I'm going ahead and take this off. Like that. And then I can come back in here and do this one the same. How are we doing on time? 17 minutes. Let me get this one positioned on here, and then we can know what we're doing. Now, I'm hanging on to those. I don't know if I want the vanilla ones or not, but see, by clipping those off and then clipping this one off separate, it let me position that up here and let me center it. Now, so we have those 3. Let me stack these 3 together. I don't know where the dog went. He ran away. He didn't want to play. But when I get to this size and this size, say, I have lots of space here. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't have all this vanilla space, I am going to go back through my Stampin' Up! Or my SACS. I may see with my SACS first if I've got fall pattern paper. If not, I want something like a basic plaid. And I have some of those over here. Let me look and see. Carousel, Gingham Gala, have a cuppa. I'll look at my 6x6 because they would fit here and create like border strips. Okay? Or I might do this and do the tag, and then we've got a tag with a job, and we might do something like that with those. We have small tags that are going to need some help. So, I'm going to play with these this week because I thought about, do I want all my tags different sizes? And I contemplated that. And if I did that, then I could use these smaller ones, but I didn't want the smaller ones to get lost in the big ones. So, I'm going to leave it like that for now and ask you to please leave me in a comment down below. Do I do them all, the 4 1/4 by 6, and make around, or do I do all different sizes? And I look forward to hearing your comment because I'm going to be checking them, and like by Monday I need to know what I'm doing. So I'm only going to leave the comments open for a couple of days. Most popular comment is going to be what I go with, and we will be back here. Since I'm working with tags, let's stick with this, and I will be back here Tuesday to work with this. That's why I say you've only got till Monday. So I will be back here Monday to show you what we're going to be working on the rest of next week, aside from this tag book. In the meantime, please remember to like, to share, subscribe, and creative blessings.